In contrast, a large general contractor may be motivated to build in an assembly line fashion. In this case, the contractor will move crews of specialists from one site to another, and the opportunity to gain additional experience may be difficult. Some carpenters acquire skills through vocational education, while others participate in employer apprenticeships. The number of apprenticeship programs is limited, however. Only a small proportion of carpenters learn their trade through these programs because of the small number of openings in carpenter apprenticeships. To become a carpenter, a high school education is recommended. High school courses in blueprint reading, drafting, and math are helpful. Carpenters usually have a greater opportunity than other construction workers to become general construction supervisors because they are exposed to the entire construction process.
I take a lot of pride in my work, and it's nice to see. I can go, all over this part of Iowa and see a lot of different houses, and you feel pride. You take your wife and your dad and your friends by and say, "Yeah, I built that house." I like seeing what you turn around at the end of the day and see you got something done. You got walls up or a floor on, or it's just something you can see. It's not. You can see what you get done anyway.
In many large commercial and industrial buildings, the skeleton of a building is steel. This is erected by structural and reinforcing metal workers. Also known as iron workers, these skilled workers erect the framework of buildings, bridges, and other structures, and position steel bars and wire mesh to reinforce concrete structures. They also set up hoisting equipment for raising and placing structural steel and moving other materials and equipment. In addition, they install steel stairs, window guards, curtain and window walls, and railings on buildings, and repair metalwork. In steel construction, the beams and girders take the place of the studs and plates in wood construction. Trusses take the place of joists. In constructing a steel structure, columns, beams, and girders are bolted or welded. The steel is delivered to the construction site ready for assembly. It is cut to the proper size with holes drilled for bolts and numbered to indicate how pieces fit together. It is somewhat like a giant erector set. The steel is unloaded and stacked so it can be hoisted easily when needed. To hoist the steel, the iron workers attach cables from the crane or derrick. One worker directs the hoist operator with hand signals or a radio. The steel is hoisted into place, where it will be positioned with connecting bars, jacks, and hand tools. Drift pins, or the handle of a spud wrench, a long wrench with a pointed handle, will be used to align the holes in the steel with the holes in the framework. The piece will be bolted in place temporarily, checked for vertical and horizontal alignment, and then permanently attached. When the beams for the floor of a multi-story steel building are in place, trusses are positioned across them. Then decking, a relatively thin sheet of steel, is placed on top of the trusses. The decking can be thin because its corrugated structure gives it great strength, and because it will be covered with reinforced concrete. Reinforced concrete containing steel bars or wire mesh, is an important material in buildings. The steel gives the concrete additional strength. Although the concrete will be placed by masons, the masons may depend on iron workers to cut and position the reinforcing metal. Blueprints will show the location, size, and number of reinforcing bars required. The reinforcing bars, or rebar, will be fastened together by welding or tying wire around them with pliers. Iron workers usually work outside in all kinds of weather. Individuals who have a fear of heights may find this work impossible to do. The chance for injury or death is very real, even with safety belts and nets. Work at great heights is stopped when it is wet, slippery, or extremely windy. Because materials used in ironworking are heavy and bulky, ironworkers must be in good physical condition. Agility and balance are also required in order to work at great heights on narrow beams and girders. A high school diploma is recommended to become an ironworker. Courses of study include math, drafting, and blueprint reading. Iron workers usually serve a 4-year apprenticeship. Although many construction trades require welding skills, some jobs demand the skills of a full-time welder. This is most often the case when unusual or ornamental metals must be joined. Welders also have many career opportunities outside of construction, such as manufacturing. Terrazzo, an attractive floor and wall surface, is created in much the same way as concrete. Much of the preliminary work is the same and is accomplished by concrete workers. Terrazzo requires 3 layers of materials: a level concrete foundation that is 3 to 4 inches deep. After the forms are removed, a 1-inch deep mixture of sandy concrete is placed on top. While this layer is wet, metal strips are positioned into the concrete wherever there is to be a joint or change of color in the terrazzo. These strips separate the different designs and colors of the terrazzo panels and help prevent cracks. For the final layer, terrazzo workers blend and place a fine marble chip mixture that may be color dyed into each of the panels. Then hand trowel each panel until it is level with the tops of the ferrule strips. While the mixture is soft, workers toss additional marble chips of various colors into each panel and roll a lightweight roller over the entire surface. When the terrazzo is dry, it is ground with the terrazzo grinder, which is somewhat like a floor polisher, only much heavier. Slight depressions left by the grinding are filled with the matching grout material and hand troweled until it is smooth. Then the terrazzo is cleaned, polished, and sealed. Please remember that there is always some element of danger in any construction-related job. A moment of carelessness can mean a lifetime of tragedy. When on a construction site, follow directions from supervisors and stay alert. Income in the construction trades varies widely from one area to another, and it is impossible to accurately report the potential income for a given trade in this tape. Students are encouraged to seek this information from instructors and local employers before pursuing a specific trade. Finally, the construction trades offer meaningful and fulfilling work for any young person making a career decision. The structures built today may stand for the next 50 or 100 years. Pride can be taken in any job done well, and the results of a construction job will stand as a monument to that effort.